This is Saturn, a world of gas and violent storms, wrapped in something impossibly delicate. A crown, a halo, a vast system of shimmering rings, stretching hundreds of thousands of kilometers into space, suspended in perfect balance around a giant that could swallow hundreds of Earths. From a distance, it appears perfect, timeless, almost designed. Among all the planets in our solar system, Saturn stands apart. Yes, giants like Jupiter are larger, worlds like Mars are more explored, and Earth is the only home we've ever known. But Saturn is different. It is unforgettable. Its rings transform it from just another gas giant into one of the most recognizable objects in the universe. Even through a small telescope, they are clearly visible. A glowing disk, perfectly encircled by bands of light. At first glance, those bands seem smooth, even solid. But that impression is misleading. Saturn's rings are not a single structure. They are made of billions upon billions of individual particles. Tiny dust grains, shards of ice, rocky debris, and chunks so large they rival mountains. Some fragments are no bigger than grains of sand, while others rise like frozen giants, comparable in scale to Mount Everest, drifting silently through space. Most of this material is water ice, which is why the rings shine so intensely, reflecting sunlight like a vast mirror suspended in orbit. Light scatters across these countless fragments, creating a luminous band that appears almost too precise, too elegant to be natural. Each piece moves independently, orbiting Saturn at tremendous speeds. Yet together, they form one of the most organized and structured systems we have ever observed. Within the rings, there are distinct divisions, including the famous Cassini division, a dark gap that separates major ring groups. These patterns are not random. They are shaped and maintained by gravity, especially by Saturn's many moons, which constantly influence and sculpt the ring system. And despite their enormous scale, stretching over 280,000 kilometers, wide enough to span the distance between Earth and the Moon, the rings remain astonishingly thin. In many regions, they measure only 10 to 30 meters in thickness, thinner than a skyscraper, yet extending across distances that dwarf entire planets. Everything about them feels improbable, a delicate balance between motion and collapse, between order and chaos. A structure that looks permanent, but is far from it, because that perfection is an illusion. These rings are not ancient features that have always existed. They are temporary, a fleeting phase in the life of a planet. And right now, that phase is coming to an end. Particle by particle, grain by grain, Saturn is losing its rings. And in cosmic terms, we are already witnessing the final act of something that was never meant to last. For a long time, scientists believed Saturn's rings were ancient, formed alongside the planet itself more than 4 billion years ago. It made sense. Something so vast and stable felt like it must have always been there. But the universe rarely follows our expectations. Everything changed with data from the Cassini-Huygens mission. When scientists studied Saturn up close, they noticed something unusual. The rings were too bright, too clean. Over billions of years, they should have been darkened by dust and debris, but they weren't, which meant one thing. The rings are young, only about 100 million years old. In cosmic terms, that is almost nothing, which raises a deeper question. If they haven't always been there, then how did they form? One possibility begins with a moon, a world orbiting Saturn stable for millions of years, until something changes. Its orbit shifts, slowly at first, then, inevitably, it drifts too close. There is a boundary known as the Roche limit, the distance at which gravity becomes overwhelmingly destructive. Once crossed, Saturn's gravity does not simply pull, it tears. The moon is stretched, distorted, and eventually torn apart. Not in an instant, but through a relentless process of gravitational stress. And in a strange twist of cosmic symbolism, this mirrors the very myth that gave Saturn its name. In Roman mythology, Saturn was a god who devoured his own children, consuming them to prevent them from overthrowing him. And here, in the cold silence of space, the planet Saturn may have done something eerily similar. A moon, once its own, drawn too close, and destroyed by the very gravity that held it. What remains is no longer a world. It is debris, spreading outward into orbit. Over time, that debris forms the rings. There is another possibility. Two moons, orbiting Saturn in silence. Their paths intersect. There is no warning, no sound, only impact. A collision powerful enough to shatter both worlds instantly. Fragments scatter into space, but Saturn's gravity holds them captive. Over time, that chaos settles. The debris spreads into a thin disk, and from that disk, the rings are born. Both scenarios are possible, and even today, we do not know which one is true. 100 million years ago, on Earth, dinosaurs ruled the land. Vast forests stretched across continents. Ancient ecosystems thrived. And in the sky, Saturn may have looked completely different. No rings, no halo. Just a distant gas giant, quiet and unremarkable. Everything we associate with Saturn today, its identity, its beauty, did not exist yet. Now imagine this. Somewhere in the universe, more than 100 million light-years away, an advanced civilization is watching the stars. When they observe our solar system, they are not seeing the present, they are seeing the past. From their perspective, Saturn may still be ringless, or even more extraordinary, they could be witnessing the exact moment those rings were formed. A moon being torn apart, or two worlds colliding. To them, that event is happening now. They may already know the answer we are still searching for. But the story does not end with their creation, because Saturn's rings are not just young, they are temporary. Even now, they are slowly disappearing. This process is known as ring rain. Tiny particles from the rings are pulled inward by gravity and guided by Saturn's magnetic field. They fall into the planet's atmosphere, a slow, continuous rain of ice and dust. Over time, this loss becomes significant. Scientists estimate that Saturn could lose its rings within 100 to 300 million years. In cosmic terms, that is the blink of an eye. One day, the rings will be gone. The vast structure that defines Saturn will simply disappear. What remains will still be a giant planet, surrounded by its moons, its storms still raging. But it will no longer be the Saturn we recognize. Its most defining feature, gone. Saturn's rings feel eternal, but they are not. They were born from destruction, shaped by gravity, and sustained by a delicate balance. And now, they are fading. The universe does not preserve beauty forever. It creates it, for a moment, and then lets it go. And somehow, we exist at exactly the right time to witness it. So when you look at Saturn, remember what you are truly seeing. Not just a planet, but a fleeting moment in its history. A cosmic masterpiece, already on its way to disappearing.